Well, first of all, thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on here. And I know you're in Alaska. Wow, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But I want to say to you, thank you so much for your service. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank
I
you.
have several family members in the military, so thank you. We appreciate your service. So, Jeff, you're kind of a newbie, right, to X39. You have an astonishing story. So if you would, please, again, just let people know, what issues or challenges you were dealing with, how long you've been on the X39, and how are you doing today? You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Well, yes, I'm in Alaska. I'm a 28-year veteran of the Air Force. I've had 4 combat deployments. And
Wow.
over the years, I developed degenerative disc disease, which comes with a lot of excruciating pain. And the physical training program in the military started to get very difficult in my latter years. So since retirement, I've had 2 back surgeries. So my entire lumbar is fused. I've had 1 neck surgery, which is a 2-level cervical fusion in my neck. And I've had 3 knee surgeries. I've had a carpal tunnel surgery and an ulnar relocation, a nerve relocation in my elbow. And all of those surgeries, especially the back and the neck, have caused neuropathy down through my legs and my feet and into my hands. Prior to surgery, I guess my pain occasionally would be in an 8-9 range, sometimes down around a 5. The surgeries I consider to be very successful, but necessary. So I spent about 10 years. My first surgery was in 2013. So 10 years in chronic, what I would call chronic pain, in my back and my feet, my knees. And that's, I guess, just chronic pain, almost always at a 5, 6, 7 level. Never comfortable. Sitting for a long period of time, it was tough to stand up. Standing up for a long period of time, you need to sit down, so you can't really ever find comfort. On top of that, I've been on blood pressure medicine since about 2008. And in 2009, I was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, better known as CML. In March of this year, my sister-in-law introduced my wife and I to LifeWave and the X39 patch. I've been on that patch for 62 days. And yes, I know exactly how long, because I journal every day and I track my blood pressure, I track my body weight, I track all my symptoms, everything all day long. I just keep track of what's going on. My chronic pain in my back and knees was gone in 4 days. And some people might say that's just a one-hit wonder, and I would agree with you. But I am telling you, since the 4th day on X39, I have not been in any pain in my back and knees. Now, I'm 56 years old, so occasionally, yes, I twist my back or I have a little bit of a stumble. But for the most part, I am chronic pain free, and I can actually work in positions like on my knees or under a cabinet or under a truck and be able to get out, climb out, and continue on with my day. No pain. It's been amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible, Jeff. Incredible.
Absolutely. The neuropathy that I've experienced since my back surgeries is starting to go down. I typically have to sleep in socks because my feet can't touch the sheets. I have shooting nerve pain in both my legs and use lidocaine at night to calm my nerves. That is getting better. I haven't put lidocaine on my legs in at least a month or more. So I would say overall, the neuropathy is getting much better. Can't say it's gone, but it's definitely much better. Now, as far as my blood pressure goes, when I have been off my blood pressure for a while now, and I'll just tell you a story. Last year was our first year snowbirding to Florida. And to make a long story very short, if you haven't been seen by a doctor in a year, the VA will no longer prescribe medications. So I ran out of one of my blood pressure medicines about 8 weeks ago. And I just went cold turkey because I couldn't get any more. I ran out of my second blood pressure medicine about a month ago. And when I was taking my blood pressure medicine, my blood pressure was controlled at about a 120 over 60s and 70s. Without it, I had always been up in the 150s over high 90s, maybe low 100. Sure, being off my blood pressure medicine has normalized and has not gone back up into any cautious zones at all. I'm still in the 120s over 70s with a pulse rate of about 67 resting. So,
Wow.
I just hope somebody else hears that, and I'm helping people out.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty incredible. It wasn't done. I didn't do it intentionally. But I ran out of medication and ended up cold turkey. The blood pressure was, and I do check my blood pressure twice a day, every day. And so it's not coming back up. So I'm just not getting back on the medication.
Wow. So it just seems to be balancing systems in your body. It's incredible.
It absolutely is. I'd like to give you one more anecdote about the 2019 diagnosis for CML is a very scary diagnosis, as you know. So I got on a medication treatment at a full dose. And I went into remission within a year on this medication. And my doctor knowing I was going to go to Florida. Well, no, let me backtrack. He dropped my dosages twice after going into remission and had me down to about a half dose. So last year we were going to go to Florida and snowbird for the first year. And I saw him in August and he said, well, Jeff, you've popped up out of remission. We need to bump your medication dosages back up. I said, okay, I'm going to be out of state for the winter. We'll go back up to a full dose of medication and we'll just see where everything is. And I'll be back in November to come see you and get some more blood work done. November rolled around. I didn't come back to Alaska, but I had my blood work done in Florida, sent it back up here. And he called and he says, Jeff, you don't need to come back to Alaska right now, but your numbers are still on the rise. I think your body's resistant to the medication and we need to switch you out and get you back on track. I said, I'll be back in April and I'll come see you. He says, that sounds good to me. Enjoy your winter. So when I got back in April, I got my blood drawn. Now in April, when I got my blood, I had been on X39 for exactly 30 days. 2 weeks later, I had my follow-up with him and he walked in the doctor's office. My wife was with me and he said, did you go see another oncologist? And have you changed your medication? I said, no, doc, I haven't done anything. He said, well, your numbers are now better than good. He said, you are in complete molecular remission. I'm not sure what you're doing, but you need to go back to Florida and enjoy some more vitamin D. So that's an anecdote. I believe wholeheartedly in every fiber of my being that X39 has turned the corner for me. And I couldn't be happier. And to those folks that are just getting on this, stick with it. Not everybody sees results as fast as I did. Some people, it's a lot longer than that, but you got to have some patience. It's working, and it has worked for a lot of people that I've helped out. And
yes,
God bless you all.
Wow, absolutely incredible. And I know one other thing I want to interject is with your back and your spine. You've also noticed that you're walking more upright and straight. You were hunched over, correct?
Yeah, just real quick. We bought a house in Alaska right before we went to Florida, and our neighbors, we've never met them, only seen them a couple of times. And then when we got back in April, a neighbor mentioned, she said, Jeff, when you left here last September, you were walking like a hunched over old man. She said, you're walking around straight, upright, and looking good now. What happened? And so they're now wearing X39 patches, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Amen to that. Well, thank you so much. We're so happy for you. And folks, I just want to do a quick little disclaimer. Jeff's story is Jeff's story. We're not saying, that this is a cure all and all that, but that's what happened to him. All of our bodies are different, but I also want to mention, and Jeff knows this because we had a personal conversation. My husband also had leukemia many years ago. And as soon as I found out about X39, he was wearing it. And just something to add to the protocol. So God bless you, Jeff. Thank you so much for coming on here. Stay well, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you. See y'all later.